Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Jesus, your host and expert recruiter, and today we're switching things up a bit. Instead of hiring tips or talent strategy, which I love to talk about, I'm taking you all behind the scenes of Render ATL and Atlanta Tech Week, two of the dopest tech events I've been to. So good that this was my third year going back to ATL to experience the magic that is Render and ATL Tech Week. Culture, community, cutting edge tech, and vibes for days. What more could you want? Let's jump right in.
Kicking things off with day one, landing at the good old Hartsfield-Jackson Airport in ATL. ATL Tech Week was on top of the branding and already on full display for arrivals. I also ended up taking a MARTA for the first time, and let me just say, if you would rather save on Ubers when going to the conference, highly recommend getting the MARTA card and taking the bus and train. Huge cost savings. I was also lucky to stay close to a friend's house who lived right next to Ponce City Market, so I took a stroll down there to refamiliarize myself. Later that day, I headed over to Midtown for the Cisco Render Pass pickup party. Beautiful area close to Georgia Tech, surrounded by big companies like Accenture and Cisco. The pickup party itself was a great intro to the week with food, music, and swag giveaways from Cisco. I then packed up and headed over to the Render Ambassadors meetup, where I caught up with our good old friend Michael Driver, who also happens to lead the volunteers for Render and a whole bunch of other stuff. Overall, wrapped up with a good first day. Now comes day two. We started off with a bright and early morning run with founders, entrepreneurs, and techies in the ATL tech scene. Lots of amazing people. I will also forewarn that if they do this run next year, be prepared for the craziest hill you would ever run up on. After the run, I ran another 1.5 miles back home, washed up, and we were on our way to the Render conference at the Amerismart Conference Center in downtown. As you can see, once I got there, the line was wrapped around the block. The rest of this video is just me walking in, showing you the branding. I mean, the pink was everywhere. Very on brand, very on point. I did some walking around just to familiarize myself with the place and make sure I knew where everything was going to happen over the course of the next few days. I walked over to the workshop section just to see the action live and where people were tinkering around, building apps, learning new skills, and absorbing as much knowledge from the workshop hosts as possible. I then made my way over to the AI Summit stage, where I couldn't even get in how packed the room was. The energy was buzzing. IBM was also at the front, handing out these cool little brain squishies, which I just had to pick up. Before I left to move on to the next and see the rest of the ATL Tech Week events, I stopped by the Render shop on the third floor and got to see some of the cool render gear that they'd have this year. I made one more pit stop at the Tech Hop event in Midtown before going to the Render rooftop party. And overall, it was great. Once we got back from Midtown, I headed over to Ponce City, where we checked out the events they were having in the area and keeping everything close by for the Render rooftop party. First stop was a Diversitech mixer at the Buena Vidas Tapas Bar. Unfortunately, I didn't get too much video from there, but let me just tell you, the food was great. And the folks at Diversitech, good friends, always a good vibe. Next, we went over to the Anthropic Mixer, where it was packed. Again, awesome food, good vibes, and overall just good energy. And before the rooftop party, we made one last stop at the Rivian event, where they hosted a fireside chat that talked about the future of the company and EV tech. Now this year, the line to the rooftop party was insane. That was almost a 5-minute clip of just the line that wrapped around the entire building. So I went back to my room, took some time for the line to die down, and got ready before going up to the event. After we got back, again, the energy was just incredible. Ponce City Market is just a place that brings so much life to the area. It's just really awesome venue and so much to do. Not much else that I can say other than it was a great time with great people. And of course, the Afro beats were on point. So on to day 3, which was my last day, unfortunately, but we made the most of it. I started off by heading over to the conference and knocking out the expo hall first. So many amazing companies and expo booths. Of course, you had big companies like Google, Zillow, and Figma. They were there in full force. You also had companies like DraftKings, Delta, Intuit, GitLab, GitHub, Cloudflare, Gusto, and so many more that unfortunately I just cannot name all of them. Now, here's an inside look at Zillow's booth, the title sponsor, where they basically built a house as their booth. Super cool stuff. I then made a pit stop in the media room where I got to share my take on the conference and render as a brand with its audience, and just to share my insight and thoughts after the 3 years that I've been to this conference. Now, before I headed out to grab some food, I made a quick stop at the Silicon South Summit area, where this year they had a silent DJ style panels and workshops. Super cool. Essentially, it gave you the chance to listen to 2 or 3 different talks at the same time based on the channel that you were tuning into. And of course, I had to say what's up to the president of ATL Tech Week, Avalon. Next stop was a taste of tech. Food trucks. Love them. As you can see, packed with good energy, good food, and the true taste of ATL culture. Now, before I wrapped up my day at the conference, I made a few more stops back upstairs, checked out some of the other workshops, said hello to some good friends, and ran into another good friend, Eric Hayward, COO of Render and Tally & Twine. Super dope individual. Again, overall, just a great last day. So again, got ready, headed back out, and went over to the first of several after hours events, starting with a stop at the Black Men's in Tech Blackout event. Great start to the night. Here's a clip of that. I wrapped up at the night at the Render Retreat rooftop party at the gathering spot, where I got to reconnect with old friends, enjoyed some last bits of the week, some great bites, and just overall enjoyed what would be a culmination of the last 3 days that I spent in Atlanta. Last but not least, I couldn't leave out the guy behind the magic, Justin Samuels, founder and CEO of Render, and just an incredible entrepreneur, extremely successful, and is just a go-getter. So shout out to him for another incredible Render. And that was it, y'all. Unfortunately, I didn't get to show you the last day from my perspective, but I'm sure if you go to Render's website and you check out their socials, you'll see all the amazing fun that they had on the final day with the concert and the rest of Atlanta Tech Week. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope that next year you plan on attending Render and ATL Tech Week. And with that, again, thanks for tuning in. See you next time.